I'm going to be, on day one, I'm going to be a dictator. Who says it to you, tells you, I'm going to put you people away. I'm going to take all the journalists, I'm going to take all the gay folks, I'm going to move you all around and disappear you. If that's the country you want, you know who to vote for. Well, if that's not the country you want, you have to make a decision. Do you see yourself, and would you ever consider being the conduit to that third party? Because I don't know if the Republican Party, as we knew it, will survive this. Because if he ever gets in again, we'll never have any more elections. There will be no more. He will stop it. And he's very clear about that. He wants to be dictator for life. Okay? So I wonder, would you ever consider, please, would you please consider being that person? Because I gotta tell you, I don't understand how people can say, we're with you, we're with you, we're with you, and then when you need them, they go, oh, but we're with him now. Mm-hmm. I don't understand that, and I don't understand how you find the grace not to be pissed at folks. Oh, you're not. You know, you're mad at them, but you're not pissed at them, because if you were pissed at them, you would have given up on them, and you haven't. Well, and so, would you?
Look, I think that...
I'm begging you. Look, I'm on one knee.
All right, guys, just when you thought that the Trump derangement could not get any more cringier or out of control from the mainstream liberal media, it just continues and continues and continues to escalate, okay? And this time, again, we got to talk about the cackling hens on The View. One specific cackling hen, Whoopi, who had an epic Trump deranged meltdown on The View, as she begged Liz Cheney to run third party against Trump, because apparently, according to Whoopi Goldberg, Trump is going to become a dictator on day one. He's going to make gays and journalists disappear, put people in cages, and cancel elections. And also, apparently, she believes that people shouldn't worry about the economy being bad under Joe Biden because democracy, right, is at stake. These are all things that Whoopi has said throughout the week in her Trump deranged rants against Trump becoming president again, which tells you exactly how desperate these people have gotten, right? These people are scared to death. They're worried sick that Trump may take the White House once again. Take a look.
What's interesting for me is that people's faith in the country is waning. Yes. That's the thing that's pissing me off, because in fact, there's a reason Joe Biden ran the way he did. There's a reason he's running for democracy now, because that's really what's at stake. You worried that you can't pay your bill? Wait till the other guy becomes president, and you won't have to worry about it, because you'll be in some camp somewhere, because that's his promise. His promise to us is he's going to force people to do his bidding. That's what he said. I'm going to be good on day one, and I'm going to turn into this other person. So here's the deal. This is all up to you. This is all up to you. We can sit up here till we're green in the face. But this really comes down to the people. What is the country you want? Do you want the country that you kind of thought you had, where we all get to say what we think, and we don't have to be afraid of being American? And believing that, yeah, there will be people who come in, and some will get in quick, and some will take a different route, but they're coming here for a reason, because they're living in a place that's not good for their families. If you're okay with that, you understand that, then fight for us to find a better way to make immigration work. Fight for that. Don't fight for keeping everybody out, because then we all have to leave.
Yeah, so you seen that, you heard that, okay? I thought that Charlamagne the God was the most Trump deranged person that I've seen, okay, with his Antichrist comments, essentially comparing Trump to the Antichrist, calling him the Antichrist. I thought that Charlamagne the God had reached legendary levels of Trump derangement, but I think Whoopi has sufficiently surpassed him when it comes to her combination of Trump deranged, unhinged rants on The View lately, okay? Because that clip I just showed you guys, again, was one of the most incoherent and deranged things I've ever heard, right? First and foremost, she's claiming that, hey, if you're voting based off the economy, that's a bad thing, right? Don't vote based off the economy because you're going to be thrown in the cage, right? If Trump wins, you're going to be thrown in the cage. So therefore, you shouldn't care about the fact that the economy is bad under Biden. Again, the amount of elitism and derangement that it takes in order to make a comment like that is just, it's incredible. It really is. She's literally telling people, don't vote based off your bills, okay, or your wallet or the economy. No. This guy's going to throw you in a cage, in which she has zero evidence whatsoever to suggest that Trump is going to throw people in a cage, right? I mean, which, by the way, the Democrats, they're throwing the January 6th hostages, right, in a cage, okay? I know the Democrats hate when you call the January 6th protesters hostages, but hey, it is what it is, okay? That's what they're doing, okay? A lot of this stuff is just projection. And then she basically claims that you should be okay with mass illegal immigration because if Trump is elected, then he's deporting everybody out of the country. Okay, so again, this is what she's saying. She said, well, do you want a country where, we allow some people in quicker than others? Okay, but, hey, we can all be here. Or do you want a country where Trump is president and he deports everybody? He's going to deport everybody. She also tried to allude to this idea that Trump was a threat to free speech, which, again, by the way, the biggest threat to free speech is the Democrats and the Biden administration. Let's keep it all the way 100. Again, a lot of this stuff is just projection. But they're quite literally just saying anything, and they're trying to see what sticks. Well, he's going to be a dictator. He's going to throw people in cages. He's going to make the gays disappear. He's going to make journalists disappear. He's the Antichrist. He's going to deport everybody in the country. We're never going to have elections again. He's going to overthrow democracy, right? All of these exaggerations, all of this hyperbole is exactly why Trump just continues to get stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger, right? I really do believe that the mainstream liberal media and their obsession with Trump, their obsession with attacking Trump and just calling Trump the worst things that they can imagine has made it so it has now become comical, right? When people listen to people like Whoopi Goldberg go on these Trump deranged rants, and it just makes people see the obvious ploy from the liberal media to not judge Trump fairly, okay, not to evaluate his comments fairly, but to simply just call him whatever. And I think what happens is that people reflexively, because of how much Trump has been attacked and just how ridiculous the attacks have been. The things that Whoopi Goldberg is saying, even the average Democrat can listen to what she's saying and know, okay, this is just not true, right? Come on. Okay, maybe I'm giving Democrats too much credit, but I'm just saying, you would think that an average voter, listen to what Whoopi's saying, they can immediately point out at least 4 or 5 things that she's saying that are just not true, right, about Trump. They're just not true. None of these things happened in his first administration. Why would you think they would happen in his second administration? I'm not entirely sure, right? But I think, again, what has happened is that it's so ridiculous, it's so outlandish, and just outright false that people are saying that, well, these people are just going on television and just saying objectively false things, clearly false things about Trump all the time. If they're always exaggerating, why should I believe anything that you say about Trump, right? Even if it's true, even if the criticism is warranted, I think a lot of people are just reflexively saying, you know what, I'm just not even going to listen to it, right? I don't even care. Because you have spammed the anti-Trump attacks so much that the attacks are now actually helping Trump in the sense that, it makes people want to support Trump more. I literally listened to that rant from Whoopi and I was like, damn, she's making me want to vote for him even more, right? That's what she's doing because it's just so outlandish. It's just so ridiculous. And I just want to see how triggered these people would get if Trump actually wins, right? If Trump wins again, can you imagine what these people would do? They would lose their minds. They would lose their minds. It will be the end of their world as they know it, right? Or they think it would be the end, right? It wouldn't be the end of the world. That's what they would think. This is why I say that, hey, Trump probably will have to deal with some political violence when he becomes president again because these leftists are going to lose their minds. They're literally going to think it's the end of the world. And then he'll have to do the same thing to them that they did to the January 6th protesters, and then they'll boohoo, whine, and cry about it, right? And try to pretend like it's unfair. But again, the desperation here is at another level. Whoopi's so desperate that she's begging Liz Cheney, somebody that I'm sure she disagrees with politically for the most part. I mean, especially on the topic of abortion, okay? Whoopi has been very loud and proud about her abortions, okay? All the abortions that she's had, which tells you everything about her judgment and her morality. But she's begging Liz Cheney to run for president on a third-party ticket in order to stop Trump from winning, right? Because the idea is that never-Trumpers would vote for Liz Cheney instead of Trump, right? And that Liz Cheney would take away votes from Trump. And again, I just don't think it will work. And the reason why is because I don't know in what world would somebody who would vote for Trump would vote for Liz Cheney if Liz Cheney ran, right? I'm not sure exactly what world she's living in where, you know, Trump supporters would support Liz Cheney. But again, that's her reality. That's how delusional she is. She believes that Liz Cheney can take away votes from Trump. In fact, Liz Cheney is probably more likely to take away votes from Joe Biden, okay? Because at this point, I think that Liz Cheney is probably more aligned politically with Biden, considering how she comes up here and openly roots for Democrats, than she is with Trump. So this idea that Liz Cheney is going to take away votes from Trump and that, you know, that's going to help Biden win, again, I think it's misfounded, right? I don't think that that's the way it's going to work. Trump has such a strong base, and I think that a lot of people really want to see Trump become president again because they know that, well, at the very least under Trump, the economy was better. The border was in a much better place. It was much more secure. We weren't getting involved in these endless wars. I think a lot of people are seeing that and saying, you know what? I don't care. I just want to vote for Trump because I want what we had under his presidency back, right? That's what I want. I want to go back to, 2019, okay? I want to go back to 2019. I think that's what a lot of people are thinking, okay? And I think that's honestly what makes Trump unstoppable is the fact that at the very least under his first 3 years, the economy in the country was in such a great place. Again, was it perfect? No, it wasn't perfect, but it was in a much better place than it is now. And people know that, okay, at least with Trump, this is what I'm getting. And I really think that that's a part of what makes Trump unstoppable. I think that's why people that, you know, even though they're Trump deranged, they may swallow their pride and say, you know what, I'm going to vote for Trump anyways because I know what I'm getting with this guy, right? I know what we had under him. I know it did not seem great when he was in office because I was brainwashed by the liberal media. But now I've wakened up to the reality of what life is like under Trump versus under Joe Biden and Democrats. And life was actually pretty great under Trump. And I think that realization that people are having is so powerful that it doesn't matter what the mainstream liberal media does. It doesn't matter what they say. It doesn't matter the indictments that are thrown at Trump. Even if he gets convicted, I don't think it really matters. I don't think people care that much. I really do think that just the fact that people know that things were much better, things were great under Trump versus how things are now, I think that is the most powerful driving force in regards to how voters are thinking. And no amount of ridiculous, exaggerated Trump derangement from the mainstream liberal media is going to change that reality. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.